Welcome, everybody. Today is January 7th. It's the first episode of MogTalk of 2017. And we are going to have a really awesome show today. If you guys are unfamiliar with MogTalk, MogTalk is a show about Final Fantasy XIV and multiple topics, including Savage Raiding, Chocobo Racing, whatever might be remotely interesting to you guys. Today we have a cool topic, I think. We have a focus on Savage Raiding and Hardcore Raiding on one of the smallest servers in the game, Zalera. And today we brought on 3 guests from an extremely successful group on Zalera. I think you guys were in the top 20 to 30 clears, first clears that happened for A12S this tier, which is extremely, extremely good. So let's go ahead and start our introductions here. We have a couple people introduced, and we have Truly, who is going to come back into the show here in a little bit. He has to go do things that he has to go do, but he'll be back here in a moment. First, I'm going to introduce the other person on a webcam here with me, Mr. Narrlocke. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Been a long day.
All right. Yeah, well, hopefully you guys do know how long these shows run, right? Somewhere between 2 to 5 hours, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured.
Good. All right, so Narrlocke, do me a favor. Tell me exactly what kind of role you play in the FC. Like, you're part of the Savage group, right? The first Savage group, right? Group 1, I'm assuming. Do you have a group 2?
We do.
Okay.
But maybe only half of them are in the FC.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
So it's not like a heavily. We don't have enough people on our server for that, dude.
I gotcha. No, fair enough. What job do you play in the group?
I play Dragoon and Monk, so the like tunneling melee DPS for the most part.
You actually play Monk this tier at all? Do you?
Yeah, I actually played Monk until A12S was down.
Wow. A lot of people hate monks, but I think monks are actually really safe because of the super mantra they give. But that's me. I don't know.
Oh, my favorite part about Monk is that it's just the most forgiving class.
Yeah.
Like, Grease Lightning gets a lot of shit for being unforgiving, but everything that everybody got in Heaven's Word is just so much more so. Grease Lightning, you have like an entire 10-second window to not be hitting anything, and you can still save it.
Yeah.
It's so easy to optimize. It's ridiculous. Takes like 3 pulls, and you're basically doing max DPS. So that's why we took it.
Which is why I think Monk and Paladin are safe jobs to have going throughout a raid tier. Even though A12S is a lot of magical damage, they're still pretty safe jobs throughout the tier for new groups and everything. But that's a different show, different discussion, all that good stuff. I'm going to move over to our next guest who's here. We got Viv Pendragon. How are you doing, dude?
I'm fine. And you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for asking, man. So the other question for you is, what role do you play in the FC? Like, what job? Jesus Christ, that's a lot of Coca-Cola, Nar. Anyways, what job do you play, and what's your role kind of in the FC?
Well, in the static, I guess I'm the raid leader, and I'm the paladin / Dark Knight.
Okay.
In the raid group.
I gotcha. I think tanks do a really good job raid leading. I'm assuming you believe that too.
I think it doesn't matter what job you play.
Okay. If you think so. I think so. When I played Scholar, I did a shittier job raid leading than when I played Paladin. But that's because Paladin's easy. I don't have to think about doing anything. I just call stuff out and focus on the fight. And barely focus on doing what I'm supposed to do with my job because it's so easy. But, you know. Anyways, Viv, tell me what you do in the FC. Like, are you like one of the higher tier people in the FC? Are you like a little sub-raider person? Like, where are you at in the FC?
Everyone in the raid group is at the highest tier in the FC.
Okay.
Because of how it's set up, I guess.
So you guys all kind of like raid or lead the FC in your own way.
Yes.
Okay.
We basically are the FC.
You guys, the
at least when we transferred over, it was actually our white mage's casual FC. He then converted basically into a raiding FC by just sucking all of us into it. And for a while, it was basically just us. And then after a while, it started to grow and have more people who like wanted to raid join.
Okay.
Now it's kind of like a big social thing, but also raiding at the same time. Mostly meme spam.
Yeah, I mean, the name of the FC is Powerful Wizards IRL. I can imagine it's all meme spam the entire time in the FC chat. But all right, and we'll introduce Truly when he gets back. We'll go ahead and do an introduction for him, but we'll go ahead and start moving throughout the show. Today, again, we're focusing on this FC on Zalera, which is, again, a hardcore raid group called Powerful Wizards IRL, and your static group is called Muscle Wizards, right?
Yes.
All right. What inspired that? What inspired the name? The FC, I guess, was just what was there already from your white mage, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then why'd you want to do Muscle Wizards?
Actually, we have no idea.
You have no idea.
It just caught on. I don't know who thought of it.
I remember
that was already set when I joined, so.
Really? There's something on Reddit
like,
about strength black mages, and I think that's the only place I can see that forming from. But
buffs your autos, dude.
yeah,
No
it's
joke.
True.
It's at least 20 extra damage per auto, dude.
Yeah, it adds up. It adds up, and the subtraction on the other side, the thousands of damage you're losing out of it. Whatever, dude. Whatever. Auto attacks, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty awesome, though. It sounds like you guys are kind of like a fun group of people. You're not just like really hardcore, like serious, cutthroat, stay on the line kind of people. You guys are pretty laid back. Is that true, or am I just assuming things?
Well, we take it seriously when we raid, but there's very little drama in the group, I think.
Okay.
We get along very well.
And plus, if you guys piss off somebody, how long does it take to replace someone?
Well, actually, the group took less than a week to make. It was much faster than I expected.
Huh.
We just found people from other servers.
Okay. So you just like reached out and you're like, okay, did you do it with like Reddit, or where'd you get people to find you guys?
Between Reddit and general connections that we had from other servers.
Okay.
I know Truly has a lot of connections from Gilgamesh and Balmo.
Okay, I gotcha. And so, I guess, what do you do to convince people that they should go to Zalera for hardcore raiding? How do you convince someone, yeah, this is a good idea?
Well, I don't think we've had much trouble, actually, because if people want to join a raid group, then they usually, from my experience, they don't care where it is as long as the group is solid.
I mean, I would care where it is. If someone was like, hey, let's do hardcore raiding on Zalera, I'd be like, well, I mean, maybe not. Just because of the whole dynamic of like having to go out and get supplies and everything, which we'll get into more about getting like potions and food and everything has to be like just completely annoying as hell. But then again, you'd have to have people dedicated to that. But we'll get into that. So basically, idea is, hey, we have a raid group on Zalera. You transfer here, and there's like no more conversation. People are just like, okay, sure, why not?
As the person who was coerced to come to Zalera by Viv, basically the only thing that really matters is the 8 people in the group, and that's really the most important part. It's like as long as the people that are actually in the group are good, doesn't really matter all that much what else there is.
Okay, so
in
like,
regards to the server.
How'd you find out they were good? You just played with them for a little bit after you transferred, and you're like, okay, I'll do it, or did you look up parses for them? What'd you do?
Partially looking up parses. I mean, all the parses I looked up were not very storied at that point, so I knew like there was still potential that could be met there. And for the most part, I just talked with them and did a couple runs over Raid Finder, since I was recruited after Midas came out and Raid Finder was a thing. And they were good, so I was like, whatever, just sure, why not?
All right.
Also, they paid for my transfer, which helped.
Oh, they paid for. Okay, well that does help out a lot. So somebody, it was Mr. Moneybags, and they paid for people's transfers to come over.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice. Who was that? Was that any of the guys that's on call here now? Viv, did you do that?
I can't spoil, dude.
Well, for Narrlocke, it was our caster who, it was actually his idea to make the group, but he was a Zalera native, so he didn't have the connections, but He's a good player, so.
Okay. He's worth the $18.
Yeah. I would hope I'm worth the $18, man. If I'm not, you better not tell me.
Yeah, better just go ahead and make sure the illusion stays. Okay, so I do have knowledge that Truly is back now. Truly, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Welcome. What was it, Russian God? That's your name? Your nickname?
Oh my god.
Oh, my Russian God. Yeah. What's up, dude?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're
How's
good?
it going?
I'm doing pretty good, man. So let's go ahead and do a quick introduction for you two. Truly, what role do you play in the group? What job do you play?
I play Scholar for the group. Basically only Scholar.
Only Scholar.
Yeah.
And
What are you doing? It is Trollchen. Oh, man.
Quink.
Yeah. Okay, Truly. I'm going to have to teach you about the mute button, too, because I don't know what you're doing in the background, but it sounds kind of like a little bit dirty there. Did you hear it?
Yeah. I'm just gonna mute myself.
I gotcha. All right. So Truly, basically, you play Scholar in your group. Sometimes you sneak in Astro, I guess, or they sneak you to play Astro. Do you guys normally do Scholar White Mage?
Actually, we play mostly Scholar Ast. We thought it would be a good idea to go with White Mage for progression, so we won't have to wait for the balance between pools.
Well, you just don't wait for the balance. That's all. That's the solution to it, right?
Yeah, I guess we didn't think about it, but like.
The problem is if you don't have a balance, you might as well have a White Mage.
Yeah, exactly. That was our line of thought,
Yeah.
and like our like White Mage is very good at White Mage.
Okay.
So yeah, so it kind of worked out.
That leader Coke just keep downing it every single time, Nar. Okay. So anyways, Truly, you do healing in the group. We have a tank from the group, and we have a DPS from the group. So we have a pretty round robin of roles here. This is good. Truly, quick question for you. I mean, you actually missed a lot of the intro stuff here. But what made you go into the group? Did you get coerced to go into Zalera, or were you already on Zalera?
No, I was playing in Gilgamesh.
Mm-hmm.
I used to raid a lot during Final Coil,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't do much raiding for the beginning of Heaven's Word, and I wanted to pick it up. So that was the best option that I had when Viv contacted me, and it worked out. It worked out nicely for me, at least.
The best option you had was a group from Zalera inviting you to their group?
Yeah, because like I kind of wanted to raid it. It lined up nicely with my education and stuff, so I
Okay.
just went with it.
All right, that works. So what is your raid times, by the way, if I may ask?
We raid.
We don't have any set times right now. We just go when everyone's available, I guess.
So you guys just say, all right, well, when you get like a quick schedule out, and you're like, hey, when's the next time you guys can raid? And once it all lines up, you just go out there, clear everything, and then you're done for the week, right?
For now, pretty much.
Okay. So when you're doing progression, though, it's like you log on the entire time. Right.
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's get back to a little bit of the free company and kind of how it formed and everything. The other thing is, I want to know, Zalera known for small population. Is your FC known for a small population, or is it one of the bigger FCs on the group? Like how many, or not the group, the server, how many people are in your FC?
When it was first created by Wonder Saucy, our White Mage, it was definitely like just him and our caster. They were just buds in their private FC for like a long time, like basically all through 2.0. But by the time Viv and us got there, it kind of started growing, and now it's just become pretty large. We basically just let anybody in. It's not restrictive. It's not an elitism thing. We just like want to have fun. So it's grown pretty big. It's had a lot of success. It's got a good amount of prestige behind its name now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy about.
I mean, you guys went really, really hard at this tier. It's kind of interesting to think about it. What convinced you guys? Because I was doing that whole like world first sheet. I was trying to build up that document. When you guys sent in, said, "Hey, yeah, we want to be part of that," and then you said you were from Zalera, I was like, "Oh, great, another troll sitting in stuff to me for this form."
Well, thanks.
Yeah, because you don't think about it. You don't think, "Hey, someone from Zalera wants to go for like a world first race." Did you guys have intentions of just getting to world first, or were you thinking just being up there somewhere within like the top part of the race? Like, what was your ambition?
When we formed about halfway through Midas, we formed basically on the day 3.3 launched. The day 3.3 launched was the deadline for all of us to transfer over at once, and we basically practiced on Nidhogg and killed it on the first day. So it was pretty promising right from the get-go. It wasn't specifically recruited with that in mind when it was first formed by Viv. At least what I was told, it was more of like a mid-core with like high raid times kind of thing. But basically once we actually started raiding, we found out lightning had kind of struck when we got put together. So about like a month before Creator, we just decided we were gonna go for it.
Okay,
So
that works. So you're just going to go for it, and you're like, "Screw it, we're going to try to go as hard as we can and see if we can clear it as fast as faster than everyone else." I mean, of course, you guys are getting world first and everything. Or not world first, server first and everything. I'm curious, how many groups on Zalera have actually cleared A12S?
3 or 4.
I think there's
five by now.
Yeah.
5?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
think-
and
I think we just
the server
completed it.
second. All respect to them, it was way after we cleared.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you guys cleared how many days after it was released? It's like
7 or so, but basically after the second day, our raid time just got gutted. So
oh yeah, what happened there?
Just a combination of college and work and other factors.
Mostly.
I gotcha. So just like a whole bunch of people having schedule issues all coming in around the same time. I gotcha.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was
I mean,
a lot of surprise scheduling issues, and we lost some time at the start too. It was good for the first few days, and then after that, it slowed down a lot, which was unfortunate because I thought we could have done better.
Yeah, you guys could have definitely, if you had any kind of hiccup at all, you guys definitely could have got it easily faster than a lot of other groups did. So, I mean, that's kind of interesting to hear that you guys wanted to do this and you guys wanted to do it on Zalera. I guess the other question I have, real quick, let's do roundtable. Are any of you guys actually from Zalera, or are you guys all just transferred to Zalera?
I'll start. I transferred over at the start of 3.3, and so did Truly.
Okay. And Viv, you did
So
too?
we don't really have anything to add here.
I transferred
Yeah.
halfway into 3.2 when I came back to the game.
Okay. So you guys all didn't have to go through the leveling process of going through Zalera or anything. You guys just did the in-game part of it there, right?
Right.
Okay. So that helps me kind of set up what I want to talk about here. So going in there, you guys only experience what... Because when you're leveling up, I don't necessarily think it matters too much how many people you have on your server, because your queues still work the same. You still work with everyone in a data center. You're not really going slow. It's just when you get into, I guess, trying to get carried through stuff, that would suck. Like if you're like, hey, I need to do this story quest. Can I get 7 people to help me out with it? That could kind of suck. But I mean, going through most of everything, you could pretty much do it by yourself until you hit in-game rating, right?
Pretty much, yeah. The only thing that's really impacted by the server's population is the trials that got recently added to Raid Finder, basically causing all kinds of queuing to just completely fucking die for that content. As a result, you have to use Party Finder for it, and because nobody ever uses Party Finder, that content's basically dead. So.
Yeah. All right. Have you guys talked to a lot of people who are natively from Zalera, and do they have a lot of complaints that you hear?
There are complaints about the population and the general skill level. Party Finder on Zalera, on average, is actually worse than Duty Finder, which I didn't think was possible.
Like the skill level, like going up there
Yes.
and trying to... Okay.
I actually I do think it improved quite a bit in the last few months. I don't think it's as bad as Viv is actually
I
describing
don't
it.
know.
Well, I mean, they don't have a lot of experience. I mean, they don't have groups that pop up, and so when you're joining it, it might be the first time that they've ever touched it, right?
Yeah, I mean, what I think the plague of Zalera is that like most good players kind of like eventually move to, I don't know, a bigger server like Matthias or something. So no, I'm kidding, but like eventually they move out to Gilgamesh like everyone else. So
Yeah.
like
I mean, that's not going to be as important coming up soon, hopefully. I mean, I can see that being a case. I didn't think about it, but yeah, I mean, the skill level would be down just because like the people using Party Finder there, there's not a lot of people out there doing it. And if the people who do well, I guess, in Party Finder probably already have preformed groups that they don't need to use Party Finder for, right?
yeah, that's a big problem. Yeah.
How many like serious FCs are on Zalera?
Define serious.
All right, so a group that has a rating group in it and people who actively get together to try to do content every week.
2, 3 if you count a social FC that also happens to have a raid group in it.
Okay. So 2 of the 3 are from your base FC, right? One, so you said your social FC?
Oh no, two FCs, 3 with the other FC. And for
okay.
groups, there are the 5 groups that have cleared 12.
5 groups that have cleared 12. Before then, like Midas wasn't even really cleared on Zalera until like almost the next patch came out or next tier came out, right?
Well, we cleared it 12 days after we came together. But
Were you
one
the
other
first group who
cleared
cleared it on that server?
Yes. We came together in 3.3 and cleared it and got server first. And there was another group that did near the end of the tier.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's pretty interesting. It's like you guys came in and kind of saved Zalera a little bit. Yeah? Yeah? No?
We don't
I don't know
actually
about
look at
saying.
it that way, but like I guess you can.
Yeah.
There's a lot of inspiration that came from it, which we're all very happy for.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, being in Zalera, I guess, would have to fit a type of lifestyle too. I mean, people who go around and they play on that server. How do you guys, you've played on bigger servers, right? You've all played on bigger servers.
I think all of us did.
Yeah. And so moving to Zalera, do you feel like there's like a shock in going there? Are you sad that you guys are on Zalera, or do you just not care?
Personally, I'm not sad because I don't mind a smaller population. I get to know everyone, and I think there is value in that.
Okay.
The only time I'm really disappointed about it is when Party Finder doesn't fill up. So other than that, it's not really that bad
Okay.
in terms of community.
Truly?
For me, it's kind of like I like the server because you get to know everyone. On bigger servers, I felt kind of like the people all over, but everyone has their kind of group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
In Zalera, everyone is kind of like it feels much more like a community, which is nice. If you put the individual skill level of players aside for a moment.
That's pretty cool. I mean, like, thinking about that, the server is really a group of its own. It's not like you're on a server and it has a whole bunch of different groups. You kind of are all one big group, in a sense. I don't know. For some reason, that's how I feel. Like, you guys are all on this airship that you call Zalera, and then you guys go clear stuff together, and you all know each other. That's the kind of vision I get when I think of a small server. When I played WoW back in the day, of course, we always have to bring WoW up on any kind of MMO show that we ever do. There was a transition. Did you guys ever play WoW?
Oh yeah, I came from a long time.
Viv, Julie?
I have not.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. There is a time in WoW where everything you did was on the server. You didn't have queues for things. You always had to shout, "Hey, I need people for my group," and you always had to find someone for your group. And you knew everyone on the server, or you knew a good amount of people on the server because you always had to find other people on the server to play with. So you actually felt like you had a sense of community there. And if you had a bigger server, it kind of went away, but you still kind of had it because you couldn't just queue into stuff. With Zalera, that kind of feels like that sense is still there, just because you have to go around and talk to people, get even a party finder going is difficult, right? You just have to kind of know people. So I guess the thing that you guys are kind of saying is that when you go from a big server to a server like Zalera, you're going in for a strong community.
I think in a way, like I have to say that I have more people in my friends list in Zalera than I had in Gilgamesh, for example.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess in a sense it is. I mean, it has its advantages and obviously a lot of disadvantages, but yeah, the sense of community is definitely kind of strong in Zalera.
Okay. All right. So the last question about Zalera itself, I'm trying to like get all that out there because I want to talk a little bit about that. The people you talk to and you're friends with on Zalera, how many of them are capable raiders?
I would say maybe 1/10.
1/10? So like enough to fill an alliance?
No way.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Depends
way,
on
dude.
what type of.
Like they can
alliance
clear
you're talking
content,
about.
right? They can do mechanics. They don't constantly fail in the fight all the time.
Which content though?
Let's just go to A9S.
A9 and Savage probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean a lot of people can clear that. It's an easy fight. So.
All right.
Yeah, there's a good amount that can clear A9, I think.
Okay. Because I'm just trying to figure out and get a good sense of that. Because I don't know. I can't ever convince myself to go to Zalera and just play a character over there and try to level up. It just boggles my mind that you guys are out there doing raid content there. Mainly, the biggest complaint is the small population leads to market prices being hell, and you're not able to really buy anything off the market. Do you guys ever buy any kind of potions or food or anything off the market?
We can't. It's either hundreds of millions or not there at all.
So do you?
Yeah.
You either get connections with crafters or you just don't have that stuff.
Okay. Do you have crafters who are dedicated to your group?
We did for a while, but on patch release.
I mean, we have someone that we recently recruited, so.
Oh yeah, recently we got somebody and that'll help a lot. But on release of Creator, like patch day, the crafters that we did have kind of bailed on us just last moment, and we just couldn't really get anybody locked down for months after that. So we were just kind of struggling with potions and food for a while.
And that's rough when you're going into the very beginning of the tier, because like not having potions, not having crafted gear, not having any of that stuff, you're doing the content at a much higher difficulty than all the world first raiders are really doing it right now. I would have to imagine, right?
Yeah, we didn't even have the crafted gear for almost, I think, around a week. So.
Yeah, we got crafted gear after about a week.
Yeah, when we cleared
A12.
A11, nobody in our group was above I-243.
Wow.
So, luckily, right before we went into 12, we did end up getting that just very late. Otherwise, we would have just been stuck on almost holy for like days. But it was unfortunate that it worked out the way it did.
No, when you're doing world first rating, that's like factors people don't see. Groups will have groups of people who are dedicated to going out and gathering all the stuff they have to gather, people making it, and the more of those people you have, the faster you have it to fill up your group. Because if you have one person doing it, it's going to take them a long time to get everyone's gear pumped out. But if you have multiple people doing it, it pumps out a lot faster. And that sucks when you start to get more and more groups for your FC, because when you're doing that, you need more and more groups of gatherers and crafters to kind of feed them the gear, or you're favoring one group over another group. And so you guys are basically a one group like focused FC, except for you have a second group that's kind of like a mixed group, right? But you only have one dedicated FC group.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And so when you actually get into those factors, you got one person right now who's doing crafting for you, right?
We have one person who's dedicated, and everyone kind of knows people, so we kind of, gather from here and there, but nothing that is actually belong to the group other than the new one we recruited.
All right. So definitely, I'm going to go and say that factor completely took you guys back at least, I would say even a day in your rating, right? And getting that A12S clear. If you had to just guess how long crafting and gathering put you guys back, would you guys say about a day at least? From getting the clear?
Maybe 2 or 3, because we
2 or
got
3.
stuck on A11 for a while.
Was that like
we
health
hit
caps,
enraged on
or-
11. No, with enraged, actually.
What is enraged?
But,
Don't you just fall off?
What we thought was enraged was the second GA100 or whatever
okay.
it's called that destroys the last tower, because we didn't realize that it was possible to save the towers past that point. But
Well, my group is shitty enough to be able to do that. Not shitty enough. My group's great. I love you guys. You guys are great. My group's awesome. I think we pushed it to the second set of opticals after G8 100 because of how low our DPS was on that.
I think if you're like above 245 or 250, I think it's actually harder to save the towers until that point, rather than just nuke them and allow yourself the extra movement with mechanics to do more damage, because it's a lot more mechanically intense to dodge those towers with all those optical sights. It's hell. It's awful.
Yeah.
We've never seen past it because we were just fuck that shit, man.
Well, again, groups. I'm sorry, I probably lost half my group right now by saying that, but no, I think it's. I don't know. I just saw like there was a possibility of, hey, this fight could go on for a little bit longer. I want to make sure that we got every ounce of time in here, and then so I developed a strategy that would make it to where we hit the towers as little as possible. We're gonna hit them, but there's a chance that they will live for a very long time in the fight, and that's how we decided to do it. But so you guys, the DPS was the biggest issue you guys had going into A11 for your clear, because of that enrage that you guys were thinking of with GA 100, right?
I think that
only
was
11 though.
partially due to the gear, because with
Right,
250 that part becomes easy.
Oh yeah. The gear at 250 completely changes your DPS like immensely. So I mean that's pretty interesting to think about being held back that much. Do you guys have plans, I guess, going into this 4.0? Do you guys have any plans for 4.0? I know this is kind of jumping ahead, but
fucking crafters.
crafters, get crafters.
That'll,
Okay.
Yeah, that'll help a lot. That was absolutely the biggest problem we had.
Because I mean, you guys have the skill level. There's no doubt about that. I seen those videos. You guys definitely put a lot of work into it, and you know what you're doing. So kudos to that. You guys do a pretty damn good job for having limited means to go out there and do the raid. And then, so of course A9, A10, they were extremely easy going into. A11, you kind of got stuck a little bit just because you kind of hit a gear wall there, but you were eventually able to do it. Then A12 was kind of like nearly impossible without getting your gear up, right?
Yeah, we did have it by the time we went into 12 though, which was thankful. But if we didn't have that gear, we would have been walled at almost holy. Like, there's no way we could have been able to survive that in that HP.
Yeah.
It's just almost holy is just like a hard gear check. Like, if you don't have crafted gear, you need to just sit there and wait for the rest of the savage gear.
It's almost, for some reason I'm blanking out there. Almost Holy is the one that's casted by Alexander himself, not Alexander Prime, right? No, that's Holy Bleed.
No, it's the 4 little ones that
oh,
ramp
the
up
little ones.
over and over
Okay,
again.
yeah. Yeah, that's rough. That's super rough. But I use Divine Veil to get past it because Paladins are the best tank in the game. But you know, I'm just saying something here. Do you guys? What do you guys?
Divine Veil's really good, dude.
It's the best. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and everyone disagrees with me. Paladins is a really good defensive tank, but it's not seen that way because A12 is so magical. You guys went Dark Knight, right, for A12?
For A12, yes. For 9 through 11, Paladin. So.
Yeah. 9 for 11 is awesome for Paladin. I know that for a fact. But once you get an A12 and you have all these tank busters and everything, did tank busters give you guys a lot of issues, though?
No. They
No,
were
not
pretty easily mitigated.
Yeah. I think they're pretty easy, like super easy, especially with a Dark Knight. Like that's why I feel like it doesn't. I can't get in that conversation because we're gonna start a whole damn fucking Paladin versus Dark Knight thing on that stupid thing. Anyways, going into future with powerful wizards in RL, you guys are actually going to probably start getting crafters and gatherers. are you guys all like, have you talked to the group as a whole and you're like, hey, we're all going to stick together and we're all going to go in really hard at 4.0, or you guys are kind of in the air right now about it?
I think the general consensus is we'll be staying together for the most part.
Okay. And Nar and Truly, you guys completely believe that?
Yeah, we haven't really said it, but it's pretty heavily implied, I think.
Okay. Are you guys doing anything as a group together right now before, like, are you playing any other games together? Are you just guys raid logging, or what are you guys doing?
Well, our white mage and our white mage / astrologian and caster went to Japan for a month. So we've just been getting subs for the weekly until they come back.
Because he's drinking heavily from what I hear, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, you guys been talking shit about Saucy, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, he's drunk like 24/7.
I mean, yeah, he's fucking smashed 24/7, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad. See, chat here is laughing at some of my jokes. You guys are like kind of like, you're not really that funny, Frosty. Shut up. It's okay. It's all right, guys. It's okay. You guys can give me some courtesy laughs later on, and I'll feel good about it. All right. So for the server itself, you guys all moved together. You guys wanted to make a raid group, and you were like, whatever, we're doing it on Zalera. It's just going to work out. You got some people who needed transfers. You paid for them. You made sure that you had that as a group. I asked you guys a little bit before the show started. Everyone makes fun of Zalera. They're like, it has a small population. If someone puts up a party finder, does anyone ever really hear it? Do you guys care that people make fun of Zalera? Or do you have any kind of like pride in you? They're like,
No, I make fun. I make fun of Zalera.
Fuck Zalera.
Yeah, we make fun of Zalera as well.
okay.
I think it's the
like,
more.
Go ahead,
If a
Viv.
party
Viv,
finder
you go.
falls in Zalera, does anybody hear it?
Yeah.
No.
Not at all. But yeah, no, Viv, go ahead. Sorry.
It's the more famously small server, I think. There are a couple others like Mateus and now I think Genova and Coral that are almost as small, but
Yeah, Genova's shrinking down a good bit, I think. But still, I don't think nearly as small as your server. It can't even. I think it has almost double the population of Zalera, doesn't it? I don't know. I'd have to look at the statistics. I was looking at consensus, I guess. Yeah, that's the right way to say that. From a few months ago, and it said it had about double the population that was active and going out and clearing these fights. I think it was just tracking the people who had achievements for clearing Alex Creator Normal or something like that. But okay, so you guys don't care about Zalera Pride or anything. You're happy where you are still, though, and have a good time. Let's go into a couple of questions about the benefits. Is there any benefits to actually raiding on Zalera?
well, I think Truly mentioned it before, but the general community, I guess.
Yeah, but that doesn't help you clear stuff faster, right?
No, I mean on a smaller server, it's always going to be more difficult.
Mm-hmm. I mean, after a while,
it's kind of fun.
Doing what?
FF logs is kind of fun because you know everybody you're competing against.
Oh, for top of Zalera? Are you like... I never actually sorted FF logs by that. That's pretty interesting to see who you're above on. How far are you guys above everyone on Zalera?
Let's just put it this way. I think I am 7 of the top 10 on trials right now. Let me check.
Check it out, man.
Our worst clears are better than most groups' best on Zalera, and that's not saying anything because, well, I don't want to trash talk them because they're good for what they are. There are some decent players out there, but it's hard to make a group with 8 solid players on Zalera.
Mm-hmm. No, I would have to imagine that. I mean, again, you have a small pool of people to choose from. If you find one person who's good, that's like how do they even get good on Zalera? Think about that. All right, so you make a character on Zalera. This is the first time you're playing. You're leveling up, and you're getting to the point of raiding, and you're at the end of raiding. how do you get better at the game? Like, who do you have to really help you get better? No one,
I
right?
actually asked our white mage slash astrologian that because he probably was the best player on the server. And he said, you can't compare yourself against other players on the server. You have to compare yourself against players on other servers.
Right. No, definitely. I agree with that completely. But when you're first getting into the MMO, these are things you just don't know. You don't know, hey, I'm going to join the server. I don't know. When you join Zalera, how do you know it's a small population server? Right? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a massive, like a very big issue with Zalera. I think that's what keeps most people kind of back. Because there's you can't really get the feedback that you need.
Yeah, you get like no feedback. I mean, and when you talk to somebody like, and you're going through and you join them in a group and you're like, hey, how do I become better? And you try to join a party finder. You don't.
Yeah, but like,
go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I think, but like everyone in our group gets, at least I get a lot of questions from players. At least ever since I moved into Zalera, that ask me about how to play and how to optimize. So I think that helps people. But like, if you actually want to get into raiding, it's gonna be rough on you. You have to start the group from scratch, and there's no guarantee that you'll actually be able to find the people for it.
Yeah, no, it's impossible. Like, and you guys had to pull from other servers to get a group together that you wanted to for serious raiding. And I mean, it's sad to think that that's what you would have to do on Zalera. When we get into the future of Zalera, though, I mean, and we're talking about how it's going to actually improve. Do you guys think that Party Finder is going to kind of fix a lot of those issues?
Personally, I don't think so. When Raid Finder came out, there was no improvement whatsoever. I think actually.
Well, Raid Finder had a lot of issues with it, I think. Like, if you queued up as a single player, it takes forever for a group to actually form, right?
Yeah,
right,
I feel like
but it would. Sorry. It will give potential for people who want to join a group but want to stay on Zalera, I guess.
Right. Do you have a lot of people who are like, I want to stay on Zalera, I don't want to leave because I don't want to chump out, I just want to be a part of Zalera, but I want to raid too?
Yeah, there's some people who are really like loyal to the community, which is part of being a small server. Personally, I think a lot of people give up before they try because they hear a lot of shit about Zalera, and the people who want to raid just leave before they try. Yeah. Like when we formed and started doing stuff, like the initial wave of like inspiration spawned like 20-25 raid groups to form. Like, there's the people are there. Like there are people who want to be part of the groups. It's just a lot of people give up before they try and just immediately leave.
Right.
Which is a big problem. Like the preconceived notion is an actual like tangible problem.
So, all right. And again, talk about raiding with that community. How often do you guys raid with other groups from the Zalera community? Like, try to help them get through a turn or anything like that?
We sub a lot.
Rarely. I mean, I sub rarely. I know that Narrlocke does it a lot, so
I sub
divided.
I sub occasionally. I get quite a few people who ask me.
Okay. So when you join these groups, what kind of mindset are you going into? Like, do you say, all right, how can I get this group to get through there? Or are you like, well, how do you make that group succeed? I guess it's a weird question. I'm sorry.
You don't. You help them help themselves succeed.
Okay.
If you don't carry them through it, you teach them how to carry themselves through it. That's generally what is the most successful way to do it.
Right. Because a lot of people who sub in for groups, they don't say a single thing. Like, they just go in and are like, hey, I'm going to sit here and get the highest parse I can, do as good as I can do, and they don't say anything to the rest of the group, and they just kind of sit there. But that would have to be impossible for raiding with people in Zalera, right?
Yeah.
Well, not impossible. I mean, generally, with a lot of people, like a lot of the less successful, whenever you like make a suggestion, they immediately take it as an attack against their skill, and just fire back at you. So typically you have to like really, if you don't personally know them already, you have to really gauge what their attitude is like, and if that's their attitude, they're done from the get go, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a lot of people from all the servers.
Yeah, like
you
that's
say
not
anything,
a Zalera problem.
yeah, it's just
That's just how it is.
yeah, exactly. People are like, oh yeah, I'm a good player, and you're like, oh, you should try this up, and you're like, nah. Now I understand sometimes, like if you suggest a alteration to their strategy to something that has been working, it's going to throw everybody off, and then they're going to be like, well, we're going to wipe 5 times until we learn this. So I understand that, but if they're not able to clear it and they're like, hey, we need to increase our DPS a little bit, and you're like, hey, can you just do this one little thing different? And then they're like, no, I refuse. This is stupid. Why would we ever change this?
Yeah, I subbed for a group once. They're a nice group and I like them a lot, but like they did a strategy for A7 that is kind of a speedrun strategy, and they kind of struggled with clearing it quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So when I subbed for them, I just told them, like, guys, let's just do it the proper way, and we one-shot it. I think it was the first time they did.
Yeah. No, and that's another thing. Like, so again, from your server, people, if they want to go out and learn fights, they have to go out and watch other people clear the fight. And so if they watch other people who are clearing the fight, who've cleared it a billion times, and they're doing these really super optimized strategies that depend on 8 people playing perfectly and doing the highest DPS, and they're not able to do that kind of DPS, they're going to fumble through the entire thing, just like you said.
Yeah,
Truly.
exactly. And then they wipe over and over and over and over, instead of like, okay, so just like do it properly and move on to the next turn instead of wiping the same thing, because you want to try to optimize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Always for me.
Sorry.
Good. No, go ahead.
Progression rating and speedrunning are 2 entirely different things. Like in progression rating, you're in tank stance, your healers are watching their cleric very carefully. Your DPS are dodging as soon as possible. Like DPS is not an issue until you hit the enrage in progression. Safety is everything in progression. Consistency and safety, you know. And a lot of people see like top end groups, like they've already cleared and they're doing the speedruns, right? But people look to what those groups are currently doing, and they try to copy it, and they just end up wiping because the group's not geared enough and not experienced enough for it, and it's not realistic to try to do that right off the bat.
For example, you could go into like A9. If people try to kill Faust on like the first square or something like that, or like even the second square, they're not able to do this. They should just aim for the 3rd square and just go through and do the rest of the mechanics. And it's crazy to me that kind of mentality is out there, but I just have to imagine that plagues Zalera a little bit more, because again, who do they have to reach out to? Besides maybe you guys, they could reach out to you guys and say, hey, how do I get this clear? Otherwise, they're looking out the guides and people who are streaming, and they're like, oh yeah, if you're not doing top DPS, then you're a piece of shit. You gotta get past that mentality and get into the clear mentality, which I think is a lot healthier for people who are learning these fights first time. I don't know. Sorry, I'm going on my rants again. The second part here that I want to ask is, we talked a little bit about people who have come to the server and they don't know it's a small population server. They don't know anything and they go into it. Do you have a lot of players who come into the game and they really just don't know I'm trying to figure out how to frame that question right. They come into the game with expectations of playing an MMO, and then they start playing and they're like, wow, no one plays this game. And their perception of Zalera is what they perceive of Final Fantasy XIV.
Well, sometimes I roam around in Olda, and sometimes people say that and shout, like, wow, this game is dead. So there are some people. And I think, the reason they joined the server was because if you start the game now, it gives you a recommended server if you make a new character. I don't know if they still do that anymore, but I mean, it's usually
server,
Zalera. So.
Yeah, it's Zalera, right? And that's kind of weird. And they don't advertise, hey, this is a small population server. If they advertise that would be good and healthy for the game. Instead, you have people joining that server with expectations of, hey, I'm playing an MMO, and I'm going to see people, and people are going to talk to me, but then they're out doing stuff, and they don't see a single player, and then they're like, oh, well, this game's dead, I'm done. So I would have to imagine that's like one of the biggest problems at the moment with having the small servers in there. Even though it works for some people want a small community, right? And they don't know where to aim for.
Yeah, I think their reasoning behind not having the servers labeled by population is probably something like, well, if somebody sees like this is the most populated server, they're just going to join that server and never join the other ones, right? But if they're not labeled at all, people are just going to go on some forum or Google or whatever and be like, which server should I join? And everybody says, go to Gilgamesh, it's cool. And they're like, okay, see ya. And then everybody goes to Gilgamesh anyway.
Right.
Meanwhile, the people who join the small servers suffer for it.
I like how almost every single like impression of someone who's like plays games on PCs is always just like that. It's always that. It's so great. But yeah, no. Again, yeah, I think people are gonna get around it, and it seems insane that it's hurting the game at the moment, and they need to find some way to fix that. And they should just label Balmung like an RP server and just be done with it, right? Things they should do. So what are some other big issues that we haven't really talked too much that Zalera kind of runs rampant with that you guys just bugs you? You think about every time you log in, you're like, man, I can't stand this. Besides, well, it could be an effect from server population, but not just server population itself.
Basically any content that normally isn't reliably done through Duty Finder is just dead. Like if I wanna get a Nidhogg berg. Well, too bad. Nidhogg doesn't exist.
Yeah,
not possible.
So there's no group set form for it. Okay.
Party Finder doesn't fill. Raid Finder doesn't pop. Nidhogg's just done for. You get 7 friends who can do it, or you just shit out of luck.
Yeah, and that's why I'm thinking like maybe cross-server Party Finder might save you guys in that respect, right?
Oh yeah, hopefully.
I
really believe in the cross server Party Finder for many. It's like I think this is actually the one thing that might actually save the server, other than server merge.
Mm-hmm. It'll definitely be nice for some people in the group. I'm probably just going to stick to doing content with the group and potentially raid logging.
Mm-hmm. Just raid logging. Just because you're at that point. A lot of people are at that exhaust point, and they don't want to log on besides raiding. And I mean, people in my group do that all the time. I think they've done that almost the entire tier anyways, besides like they get on every once in a while and do a couple of productive things, make sure to cap and everything, but no one does anything serious besides the raid logging because that's what they want to do. They want to get on and do the fights and be done, because the fights are enjoyable. Do you guys think the fights are pretty enjoyable? I mean, not that they're like, not in difficulty wise, not saying it's too hard or too easy or anything. Do you guys think the fights are just they're fun in a way?
I like the fights. I think I don't like A11, but every other turn is.
You don't like A11?
Nice. Yeah, I have PTSD attacks, but like other than that, I like every fight.
No more than good, please.
I think these fights are good for speedrunning, which is very healthy for the community.
Do you guys actually think it is?
The hardcore community.
Isn't A11 like a horrible one for speedrunning because like you have to like?
No. I'm putting A11 like aside because I like
off to the side. Okay.
I think the tier in itself is good for the for the hardcore or at least raiding community of the game for many reasons, and one of them is speedrunning. Yeah, I do like the fights. I did like the A8 test more than any fight in this tier, but like it can be helped. I just think that from a progression point of view, this tier isn't amazing.
Yeah, I mean it's a good like introduction raid tier for groups. I think new groups that are forming for raiding. I don't think it's a good hardcore tier. When you get into like speedrunning though, I think speedrunning kind of got screwed over with Astro. I mean, having to depend on RNG to get a good speedrun is kind of annoying. Like really hard RNG, like a 1 in 6, right? 1 in 6, 1 in 5 chance to get like the best speedrun. And you're trying to go for an AOE balance every single time. And if you can't get it, then you're probably not going to get a quick speedrun. And you have to do it multiple times throughout the fight. Right?
Yeah, but like I think in a way you can, like other than challenging other people, you can challenge your best times, and the fact that you don't wipe over and over to retarded shit like people dying in turn 7 in A7 Savage. kind of helps, speedrunning the entire process of speedrunning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's good for, personal challenges. I got you on that one. Okay. So
I actually disagree with a lot of what Julie said. I actually think this tier is awful for speedrunning because of the way the pushes work. Nothing is timer based, like everything is HP based, and that means
besides A12, right? A12 has a lot of timer on it.
A12 is lame. It's nothing happens. Every phase in A12 is do 1 or 2 mechanics and then burn the boss for 60 seconds. Then do 1 or 2 mechanics and then burn the boss for 60 seconds. And the way 10 and 11 are set up is that if you change even the tiniest minuscule thing, all the timings are thrown off in the fight, and you have to relearn them every time. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just because I played Dragoon, and Dragoon is really reliant on cooldown timing in relation to Blood of the Dragon, but I will really hate that.
I kind of like that being a factor in there because it makes speedrunning more challenging. It adds a huge challenge to speedrunning because now you have to start being more adaptive, and you have to say, all right, well, our strategy does this with the fight, and it makes it react this way, and so this is how we clear the fight. Astra, of course, screws all of that up because, again, it's not consistent. The inconsistency with Astro just drives me insane.
To sleep at night, I just pretend like the Astra buff never happened. It's the absolute fucking worst thing they could have done to Astra. It was literally the one single worst thing they could have done. They could have done anything else. They could have improved the healing, could have made all the other cards do something else, like make Bull reflect damage or something, just completely fucking remove Spear, do anything with any of the other cards to make it more reliable. And instead, the one thing that they did good, they just made it better, so it's even more RNG based now.
Yeah.
Fucking hate it. Speedruns are entirely dictated by how often you can draw balance. It's awful.
It's horrible. And I think it makes me ill to think about it. So I agree with you completely. Viv, real quick tangent topic. How do you feel about Astro buff?
I think it's terrible. I think they should have buffed the AoE healing aspect instead of balance.
Okay. No, that's completely fair. Because that would have actually gave it that. It would given it something consistent. I think they just needed to add some consistency to it because the RNG was a factor that messed up Astro already. That's the big factor. They did kind of good by limiting the effects to just 3 different bonus effects, right? They had a whole bunch. They had like 6 different bonus effects you can do if you like ate a card and you got like some sort of benefit to it. Now they made just 3, and that limited that aspect a little bit. But then when they said, hey, you need balance even more now, like what the hell is going on? Just come on.
Like the way it was before when balance was 10%. Astro, if you had perfect draws, Astro was already better than White Mage, just completely just way overshot it. Also, make draw have no cooldown out of combat already.
Yeah, they should just let you pick your cards before you start the fight. Why do a cooldown reduction if you're gonna like do that? All right, then you have to wait on the cards to be drawn every single time.
Make shuffle infinite out of combat. I don't understand what's so hard about it.
Yeah, and it sucks.
It doesn't even.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No.
I was just gonna say it doesn't even require an extra screen that way. If shuffle just has a 1-second cooldown if you're out of combat, it's literally no extra development time done. You just shuffle, balance, done.
It's true. No, that's a very good logical solution to it. I mean, the other thing they could do is just make it. I don't know. They just have to cut out some of that RNG and you'll be good. Because that inconsistency for new groups sucks really hard. I think Astro should only be played by really, really, really like people on top of their game. I guess is the best way you put it. Not new healers. New healers can't handle Astro that well because of what it does to the fight and what it does to your group trying to progress through a fight. Because you can't, again, if you push something too hard and your group is progressing in a fight and they're saying, hey, I know exactly what I need to do here, here, and here, but then you just push it a little bit harder, you skip a phase and everyone's thrown off and you wipe just because you skipped a phase. Oh, we did better. Now we're punished. Right?
Pretty much. That's another thing I have a problem with this tier is there's a lot of pushes that punish you for having high DPS. Like mostly at A11. I'm staring directly at A11 right there. Like
A11's a crazy fight, man. I don't know. The pushing stuff, I mean, the benefit from like making it more complicated fight by having the pushes in there versus killing the inconsistency of progression. It just That's again. All right, I think we're done with that tangent. Like, I feel like we dug into that too much, and we've done our complaining here. We all did some baby rage here for a little bit. All right, so one thing I want to ask that's kind of a little bit of a side tangent, but I'm going to go straight towards you, Truly. Truly, now, are you the only person who's not North American on your raid group?
Yeah, I am. I believe I am.
What made you want to join a North American group on Zalera?
Oh, I'm used. I like raiding in the middle of the night. It's something that I like to do. Yeah, so,
Saucy is South American.
Oh, is he?
Yes, Saucy is from Botswana.
But his time zone is a little bit more aligned with North America, right? It's not as
Kind of, yeah.
crazy
Yes,
out
it's
there.
only 1 hour. It's only 1 hour off.
Okay. Are you guys all in pretty much the same time zone then if it's only like 1 hour off? Like usually you have like people in 3 to 2 hours off, right? Because everyone's across North America.
My time zone changes like every few weeks. So
What?
Viv has like 15 houses, so
Yeah, Viv, yeah, never mind.
he has his
He's
butler
not
shuttle
poor,
around.
to be honest.
15 houses, you just kind of like every once in a while you just move to a different spot and you start raiding from that new spot. I'm sorry, that's too interesting for me to pass up, Viv. Why do you have time zones change all the time?
we can talk later about that, I guess.
Okay. Fair enough.
I want to hear too. Like I don't know what's up with you.
He won't tell
All
me.
right.
This is about
Maybe
Truly.
sometime off stream. You're a very mysterious man, Viv. It's okay. All right. So the other parts of Zalera I want to talk about. Did you guys ever try to level up an alt in Zalera at least?
Yeah, I did. I leveled Astrologian in Zalera.
Level up an Australian. Do you guys have an alt? Do each one of you guys have an alt that you play on? Like, do you have an alt group?
No.
Alt characters? No, not currently, but we're planning on it for 4.0. Split rating is very powerful for farming gear, so that's what we want to do in the future.
Yeah, with my discussions with Elysium and Anger, it's like one of those things that they have to have. You need to have it because if you get good gear drops, you need to kind of mix the characters together to get like that perfect group. And then you also have that much more experience with raiding. And with that carrot on the stick at the end, getting that chest, it encourages you to play, go through the fights again.
Yeah, especially because if you can clear it with the crafted gear, you can do the same thing on an alt too. There's no actual disadvantage on your alts at the start, which makes split rating even more powerful because you're already at full power.
Okay. So right now, you guys are, I consider you a very hardcore group. And you all seem like you have ambitions to be world first group. Do you guys think that you might actually be in that league where you're just like, I want to race with Elysium and Anger? Or are you not shooting that hard?
It's going to take a significant amount of preparation, I think, especially considering the state of the server. But we're going to get some crafters and be more prepared next time.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I think I have like a lot of respect for the world first groups, and they put insane amounts of times, and they are very, very talented. So we're definitely going to go hard. I think that's what I believe everyone wants, but I don't know about actually being able to compete with these guys. Maybe, but like I kind of,
You can do it. Anyone can do it, but you just have to have the right things in place for it. You have to have the gatherers and the crafters, which is an issue of Zalera, right? Then you have to have maybe alt jobs, so you can have that for an advantage. And you just have to schedule off work for a week. If you can do that, then you guys could possibly get there, and you could be world first. And if they keep the tiers like it is in difficulty-wise, and HP requirements and health requirements and everything else, then it'll be a couple of days that it'll take to clear these fights.
Yeah, it's a good ambition to have, and if we get there, then we get there. But I think we're just gonna focus inward for that period of time and not specifically gun for it, because it's really easy to underestimate the absolutely gargantuan amounts of work that like the top 10 groups put in.
Okay, you're right. I did kind of under value that they put in tons of work into what they do. But I mean, it's not out of your reach. I think you guys have the ambition and the ability to do it. You just need to get past the Zalera issues with that.
The Zalera curse.
Yeah. All right, talk about the Zalera curse real quick. What's that?
Well, I think our white mage / astral knows it better. But basically, any raid group who tries to succeed on Zalera will fail.
It just
Like,
eventually fails.
there's no precedent for our group. Basically, there was no serious group. I think I might be wrong, but I think ever on the server. So
Like there was no serious group that ever tried really hard on Zalera.
right, or in
What's
terms of progression, at least.
What were you saying, Nor?
Oh, nothing.
So now you guys are there, and if you failed, and it's true, Zalera does have a curse, and they can't have a successful raid group. So there you go. Defeat the curse, guys. I believe in you. I mean, you just have to get past that. I mean, if you guys have 8 people who know what they're doing, you'll do fine.
Yeah, I haven't been here long enough to be able to say, but I do know that at least the raid scene's flourishing more now. Because when I got there at the start of 3.3, there was like maybe 3 or 4 groups that I could name off the top of my head for like the first 3 months, and then after that, they just kind of started coming out of the woodwork. So we're all pretty happy with that.
There was a thing that I think, what was it, Mr. Happy did, and he brought like tons of people trying to go to... Do you guys remember that?
Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about that. Yeah. One of Mr. Happy's streams a long time ago, he like put up a straw poll or whatever, like asking what he should do, and one of the options was make Zalera great again. So he made an alt called like I'm not Mr. Happy or whatever, and he has an FC on there. He logged onto it and played on Zalera for like a couple hours and then logged off and never logged back in again. So his Mr. Happy's FC, led by I'm not Mr. Happy, offline for 4 years, is still sitting there. It still has people in it to this day.
It's funny because that was actually when it was during 3.2. It was when I came back to the game and I transferred to Zalera, and people didn't believe that I was from Zalera, so they thought I was here for the campaign.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. I thought, like, all right, well, cool. Yeah, go over to Zalera, play on it, see how it works out, get to kind of know the people. But it was just kind of like it happened real quick and then just disappeared, and nothing ever came from it, right?
Yeah, I think I got someone from the Happy FC try and convince me to transfer to their server.
Gilgamesh?
Which, no, I think it was Cerberus. And
okay.
I think that defeats the whole purpose of the campaign.
Yeah. People coming in and then they're like, oh yeah, let's see what's going on. Oh, good players here. Let's. You got wrecked, Narrlocke, by the way. Good try. Yeah. I can't post links, man.
I was about to ask, can I post links without getting banned? But
no, I got you, man. I got you, dude. Hold on. You're good. All right. But no, like I thought it was pretty interesting because I was like, how does that really help the server out? It's cool. You get some attention towards it, but did anyone actually join the server because of that campaign? Do you know anyone that's like, oh yeah, I started in the server once Mr. Happy came over there. I decided to make a character over there. I wanted a small time server to work with. Do you know anyone like that?
I know one person who ended up staying, and
okay,
that was it.
Yeah, it's hard to convince someone to go into the server and just get stuck with it, or not get stuck with it, but stay a part of the server. And live through it because they have to accept the means of not playing an MMO that's not really an MMO anymore. It's like a co-op game with a few friends. Yeah?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
It's a good way to put it, I guess. All right, so going back, I'm trying to think of other questions that I definitely want to get answered here that are just kind of off the top of my head. By the way, if you guys are in chat, I totally forgot to say this, and that could have been a problem here, but if you guys have any questions for the guest here, you better go ahead and ask them. Oh god, what is it? Is it just questions? There we go. We can collect those and we can throw that into a form. I don't know if anyone's actually asked any questions during the show. Probably not. But oh well, here's one. Snipe wanted to know, how much does Naj make you guys play CS:GO?
Our caster plays with Notch.
He played it with our caster, yeah.
And that's it?
Yeah, a lot of us are like good friends in our raid chat, and we mess around and do stuff together a lot. So it's pretty good outside of raid.
Okay. Good. So you guys are like
Also,
a group of friends, right? It's not just like a.
Yeah, we all get along.
All right, cool.
It's not like a I'm here to raid and then I'm leaving kind
Yeah.
of thing. Also, I've been sneakily answering questions in chat throughout this whole thing as well.
Son of a bitch, you messed up everything with the whole viewer question segment. Nar. Come on, you messed
I'm
it all
sorry.
up. Do people call you Nar or do they call you Narrlocke all the time?
They call me Nar, and
Starbuck.
I yell at them to call me Narrlocke because that's my actual name, and it's only split in half because it's forced.
It's hard, man. It's hard to like because then it's two
Fine either
syllables,
way.
right?
You do whatever you want.
Oh, okay. All right. Nah. Hey, nah. Can I swear it down to nah? Did you mute yourself? You mute yourself, Nar. No, I can't hear you at all. Can you guys hear Nar?
No, I can't hear.
That happens sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Technical problems.
Technical problem.
Sorry, my microphone sucks. Are we
No, it's
good
okay.
now?
Yeah, we're good. Your microphone sucks. It looks like you
Alright.
spent a lot of money on it, though. It's like a
It's
nice
like 20
mic.
bucks, dude. It looks nice.
Oh, okay. It's just one of those that looks nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No, it's actually pretty good. It's got a decent quality to it. It just doesn't transmit well over Skype for some reason, probably because Skype sucks. But
Yeah. Okay. Skype does suck, by the way, a lot. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I'm hoping for cam stuff to go to Discord, and that'll make life a lot better. They said they're working on it, but might have to switch to Curse at some point if they can't get it going. Hint. Anyways, so God, I forgot my question, but I was going to ask you something about Zalera here. What was the question? I had it on top of my tongue, or tip of my tongue. Screw it. All right.
we
So-
look at the doc, man.
No, it's
I'll
not
find
even.
it for you.
It
Go
wasn't a
ahead.
doc. It was just something that was I thought of, and I was like, "This is a really good question to ask you guys from Zalera," but it's just completely gone now. Let's see if I can remember what it was real quick. I asked you pretty much all these questions here that we have on a document, so it's not like anything too surprising here. So, all right, I'm gonna ask another viewer question while I try to think of it here. Here's a serious question that just came up from chat. From Zendoff. There's a lot of troll questions here from Sajgi. I think that's part of your raid group, though. During
Staggy.
Saggy.
I'm not gonna-
Siggy.
Siggy. Okay. During the
I
first few
stole your
days,
avatar, Saggy.
his avatar.
Fuck Saggy.
Sorry.
All right. Let me get the serious question. Hold on. During the first few days of progression, how did you approach the decoding of mechanics, as in few pulls as possible? Like, how did you guys strategize your strategy? I guess, if that makes any sense.
A lot of the time I just tell them what to do, and they're like, okay, and then I do it, and then it works.
Nah.
Nah. It's not how
It's
it
a group effort. You know, we
Yeah,
just figure things
It's all
out, and if it
group
works, we
Yeah, it is a group effort.
I mean, did you guys
Typically-
pull a lot of information from the other clears first? I mean, a lot of that stuff wasn't there when you guys were doing it at first.
no, we didn't have any clear videos when we cleared, I think, any turn other than
Yeah.
11, 12.
Nothing was up when we got through. I don't think. I think when we were about killing 12, I think that's when videos started popping up,
Mm-hmm.
and we were able to use that for like the very last bit, but it was already did by them.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I think it was more of a group effort. I don't think anyone didn't contribute to figuring out how mechanic works.
yeah. So you guys someone throws out an idea, and you're like, okay, let's think about it, discuss it, and see if it would work.
Yeah, we had a lot of problem with one mechanic in particular. That is the numbers in A11. But other than that, everything was kind of smooth.
All right. And then when it starts to hit A11, A12, you guys had that hiccup to where you guys were falling a little bit behind. You start seeing clear videos, and you guys pulled from those clear videos, I'm assuming?
For
there
A12,
weren't very many videos.
yeah, but like for A12, I think towards the end, when we actually saw the Elysium clear video, we kind of like it was funny because we moved from being 4 minutes into the fight to being like 9 minutes into the fight in one pool.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just like one pool, and then we almost cleared the fight. So I think in a way that contributed, but like other than that, not really. Like we kind of figured things out ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And A12 is one of those that it takes some time to figure out those mechanics and exactly how it works. I think I was talking to VS, which is one of like the world fourth group from Elysium, and they said that for the crystals, they still had no clue how it was really working. When they got the clear judgment crystals, I think, right?
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed in 12 because not only is it like very, very simple to perform mechanically, but also when you're first figuring those mechanics out, everything is just as straightforward as it could possibly fucking be, minus Inception and Judgment Crystals. That's really the only like mentally taxing part of the entire fight, and like maybe placing the sacrament during the fountains. It's like there's 2 actual mechanics, and for the rest of the fight, you're playing jump rope for 15 seconds, and then burning the boss for 60 seconds.
Yeah. It does seem like that. I don't
Definitely
know.
Inception and Judgment Crystals are something that's very like abstract when you're first going through it. That took a while to figure out.
Like the shoe said, I never heard Nar complain so much in my life until he started talking about an optical sight. Did you ever see optical sight?
Because I'm a melee dude, I fucking hate optical sight. When we were progressing, it's better now. I mean, you can basically do all the optical sights without moving the boss at all now that we figured out the spacing. But during progression, that sucked.
Yeah, I constantly hear it from my monk. Always complaining. Always furious.
At least I'm not a warrior, dude. Poor Warren Spike has to run an actual marathon every time the boss casts limit cut because there's no room in the front anymore. So he has to run all the way to the back or to the side. He runs all the way back and presses I once and then runs all the way back and then runs all the way back.
For what? For limit cut? Which one? Which limit
for
cut?
optical sight.
Oh,
for
optical
warriors specifically, because what most groups do is they have the main tank stand north, and then they have the 2 melee northeast and northwest, and the boss is like right up here on the north, and like all the room up here is taken. So the off tank has to run all the way over to the side, or like all the way to the back, and then just run all the way back every single time the boss casts optical sight.
Yep, I hate it. That's what I do. Yeah. I off tank it. So I know about running off to the side.
You know that running a marathon for that entire fight.
Yeah, but I don't complain. I just deal with it.
You should complain.
What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Mechanics are mechanics, man. Mechanics are mechanics. And that's why we also had the 3rd longest clear time when we actually cleared it.
Hey man, you could be Mr. Happy and have the wrong gun on.
Oh yeah, I guess I could be.
Machinist CPS by like several hundred. Mr. Happy, when he was at a FanFest and he was casting or whatever, he was talking about how when his group cleared A11S, he accidentally had one of his old relics on that he was working on, and when he cleared it, he was the lowest DPS machinist by several hundred on FF logs for like the entire week.
I remember him being that low, but I didn't know that was happened.
Yeah.
He had the wrong gun equipped when he killed it. So
I remember him talking about that. It's pretty ridiculous. Happy's a pretty cool guy too. Like I've talked to him quite a bit at FanFest, and I've talked to him outside of FanFest, and I like to give him shit every once in a while for fun. But that guy is the most dedicated Final Fantasy XIV content creator out there. He will make a video for pretty much anything. There's going to always be a video, any reaction video, any video. He is the most active Final Fantasy XIV content creator.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think that's in its way, it's respectable, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no, it is. I mean, you can rely on him for having some kind of content for you to absorb with Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, he'll get something out there as fast as possible. He's usually like the first responder.
Yeah. It's pretty neat. I talked to him, and this is streaming Final Fantasy XIV, and being a streamer is kind of his job. It's what he does, and we don't have a lot of professional Final Fantasy XIV content creators out there. I think it's him, and that's pretty much it for people who can actually make a living off of doing content creation for Final Fantasy XIV. I mean, Miztech and Xeno and all of them, they do it, but it's like I don't know if they don't have like Xeno's actually probably kind of getting there right now, but they have day jobs and they're out doing other stuff, and it's just kind of a side project for him. But for him, that's his life. Anyways, another tangent, just ran him out of there. Sorry. Do you guys have anything if I asked you, what would you like? You're speaking to the entire Zalera community right now. The entire of they're all watching you, listening to. Just imagine that they're all listening to you right now and absorbing what you're saying. What would you say to the Zalera community at the moment?
Use grit,
Use grit,
please.
I would say get good.
Oh my god, that's rude as
man.
fuck, man.
Yeah,
Please
I
use
think
grit when you're
Just-
progressing.
I think what Narrlocke says pretty much summed it up. Like, I think a lot of groups in Zalera couldn't really clear Midas because they literally did not use grit. And I think it's just the mindset. Like, if you actually get into the progression mindset when you're actually doing progression, I think a lot more groups would actually be a lot better. And I think there are a lot of talented players, and there's no need to actually give up on trying if you actually use grit.
Grit
Yeah,
and
there are
power
actually
slash,
some-
right?
There are actually some decent players on the server, and I think they just need to just not give up if it's hard to find a group or it's hard to progress. I think that groups disband too easily.
Yeah, I can. Well, the thing is, it takes so long. Like, imagine if you lose a player on Zalera, how do you replace them? You have to look on actual forums outside of the game. Like, you can't just put up a party finder and hope you find somebody, right?
Yeah, that's one of the real problems with the server. Like, if somebody, like, finding people to join a group can actually be very hard. But a lot of people also give up before they actually try. Plus, cross-server recruiting is really active with Creator.
Yeah,
Especially with 3.5 coming out, there's going to be a lot more like cross-server recruitment happening. I think it's going to be a lot more of a thing, especially the cross.
Yeah, I think
party
that's a,
finder.
that's a good point, by the way. Like, I don't see any group actually recruiting outside of the server.
Oh no,
and
I tell them every time. They're like,
I don't see why. Like, I've told some friend of ours that was trying to set up a group, and he just insisted on taking players from the server. And I just don't understand, like, why would you? Because other servers has, just as much like as talented players, so just go for it.
Yeah. It's just convincing someone to move to Zalera might be a little bit difficult, I guess.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah.
But again, with cross-server party finder, it should be a lot easier to play with people who are like you're prospecting, and probably a lot of groups will just straight up format of party finders, like a lot of Zalera groups do. Which will be good.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see that. I don't know what's going to happen with it. It could be just half memes. Cross-server party finder could just be people doing Rick Ashley quotes. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to turn out. How are you going to filter all the crap out of cross-server party finder?
You can only post on cross-server if there's an actual duty selected, but that won't stop people. They just pick some random duty set eye level 500 and be like,
Yeah. Whoa, PC player. Yeah.
PS4 is allowed. For PS3 limitations.
Yeah. Oh my god, this person sucks and never join them in your group on this one server. But I'm telling the entire world.
Pretty much. It's going to be a lot of that until they probably just going to straight up remove messages after a while if that happens. Which will be unfortunate. But
yeah, that would
what
suck
do
a
you
lot. Okay, so message to Zalera, clear. Be more progressive mindset if you're actually progressing. Everyone stop trying to be a super hardcore player when half the people you're playing with are probably not like that. Second is if you had to put a message to people who aren't from Zalera, what would you, people who are curious about Zalera, maybe moving to Zalera, would you discourage them from joining Zalera? Or is there some advertisement you'd put out there and say, yeah, Zalera is great because of so-and-so, so-and-so?
Well, I think personally, like, the experience for a new player in Zalera and someone who just moved into Zalera is entirely different. And if you have a group, like if you have a group of players that will actually play with you, I think it's a fairly fun server to play at. Like, I do like the server. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't know if just moving randomly, if you don't have a group to actually play with, I'm not sure if that's a good idea. But if you're just like, if you have an offer from a group from Zalera, I don't think the fact that that's a small server should hold you back from actually moving. I think it's more just like something that people think about Zalera, and it does have a lot of advantages, and people are, we have a lot of great players or people in the server. So if you have a group, it's just as good as any other option you might have.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say for anybody who's like okay with moving to a small server in the context of raiding, if you're use the recruitment subreddit. Don't just look before you leap. Just don't jump in and expect everything to be fine dandy, because it probably won't if you do that. But use the subreddit. And if you're on Zalera and you want to raid, use the subreddit. There are people who will come. People don't care about their server a lot of time.
Okay. Viv, any way you would advertise for it?
It depends on what you're looking for. Like, I personally enjoy the fact that I know almost everyone on the server, and they can treat it like a single player game half the time. And some people don't like that in an MMO, and that's understandable.
How do you guys do hunts?
I mean, that's the end game in our server, so,
Yeah.
I soloed a hunt in S rank at 4 a.m. someday. Yeah.
Zalerians take their hunts very seriously, dude. They're hunting FCs, there's hunting metas, just everything, dude. Hunts might as well be raiding on that server.
So they actually look for strategies and stuff, and they're like, how do we make this?
Oh yeah, dude. People fucking hunt like crazy. They like every morning at 6 a.m. sharp in one of my link shells, there'll be a guy who says, all right, we found every single hunt that spawned this morning. Who's in? We're gonna train them. I'm like, okay. They literally just, like, 6 a.m. sharp, they know where every single hunt is, and none of them are killed, none of them are early pulled. They all just go around in a big circle and kill them all, and then they're done at like 6:30. Takes 30 minutes to kill all the A ranks and shit.
How do they kill S ranks? Like Heaven's Ward S ranks?
People come out of the woodwork for S ranks on every server. Doesn't matter how many people there are. If there's an S rank, there's at least 200 people there.
Yeah, it's like suddenly you find out a lot of new players that you didn't know exist when an S rank kind of spawns.
Your entire friends list is there. It's just a sea of names.
That's pretty awesome. Okay. Is Wonder Saucy your FC leader? Is that just a coincidence?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's him. He's drunk right now, so don't take him too seriously.
Okay.
Come on, truly.
Fair enough. Russian God says he's drunk. Russian God knows about people being drunk, so that's good. He's from Russia. Okay. So going past that, I did remember the question that I had earlier, and that question was, being on the server and being someone who's cleared A12S so quickly, do you think that, what is the server's perception of you guys? Do you have a good positive view, or people are like, oh, those elitist assholes from Powerful Wizards IRL?
I mean, when you're high profile, there's always people who will be extremely toxic and negative just for the sake of it, because that's just what they do. So,
like, what's the worst that you get? Like, if someone like says, "Oh, these guys they suck because of so and so," or what's like the worst thing that people say to you guys?
I don't know. They hardly ever have the balls to say it to our faces. But
okay.
there's a lot of people who.
I've never received any negativity, but I did like hear from people that like I suck. So I don't know. I guess people do that, but like I can't really tell what's the worst that anyone has ever said.
So it's all indirect comments. People are like just saying stuff. They're just being kind of cliquey and complaining, stuff like that. Viv, do you have any experience with that?
I've only had positive experiences, I think, for the most part. I've heard about rumors, but my interactions have been positive.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of stuff just naturally comes, like if you're any kind of like high profile, or at least label yourself as such. But on the other side, there are a lot of people who say like thank you for the inspiration and that kind of stuff. So that's really nice. That always outweighs it.
You guys are actually making Zalera great again. Yeah, maybe possible.
Yes, I just playing video games, man.
Just playing video games. I'm not trying to be a hero. I just want to kill shit. Yeah, no, I got you. Do you guys ever join a group and they're like, oh my god, it's a powerful wizard?
Yeah, it did happen more than once.
That's pretty funny. I mean, you guys have actually cleared it. When you cleared it, you weren't just clearing it like server first. It was like you guys were clearing it really early before other servers were clearing it, which is an impressive thing.
Yeah, I think we cleared like 2 turns before every server other than 3 in NA at least, or 4.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of in a as soon as the JP players started clearing it, it just got kind of crazy there. We had some EU clears and everything, and it was really interesting to see it. When I saw your names come across, I was like, all right, let me see that bullshit troll screenshot that you guys are going to send me about it. And then it was actually legitimate. I was like, wow, okay. I'm impressed. I want to tell you guys that I was very impressed and very happy that you guys came out and you did what you did on Zalera, because it made it much more interesting for the world first race this tier. And I hope you guys invest the time and make it into 4.0 and go really serious and hardcore.
Yeah, I hope next time we won't lose 3 hours at the start and then have no gear. That'll be really nice.
See if you can recruit people. See if you can make it happen. I believe in you guys. I know you can do it. And I'll be cheering for you guys definitely.
And hopefully the state of the server improves as well in terms of in-game. Because I think there's definitely potential with some people.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's tons of potential for you guys. And I mean, with cross server party finder thingy going up, it's going to kind of close it. I think it's going to make it data center by data center. It's going to be the communities. It's not going to just be server by server. It'll be a little bit more data center focused, because you're going to start recognizing names in the data centers. And party finder, you'll see, hey, this person has a group up. All right, cool. And you'll be able to join that group. Or you might be able to do raiding completely cross server even. People might join your group via another server, right? That'd be kind of silly because then they can't get on.
That's a valid idea. Like I don't rule it out. I mean, it's up to Viv, but like I think it can work.
It just makes the whole crafting and potions thing kind of hard, but yeah, good.
Yeah, especially for more casual groups who just like want to have fun, I absolutely don't doubt there's gonna be 8 people on 8 different servers just using like Party Finder and the whatever cross-server friends list or whatever bullshit they're implementing to communicate, and all just use Raid Finder to raid.
Yeah. All right.
It's definitely happening.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, let's get some of these troll questions out of the way, just for the shake of it. What kind of shampoo do you use, Nar?
I don't know. I would have to go look.
You don't know? You don't know?
I don't know, dude.
All right.
Just buy whatever's cheap at the time, man.
All right, Mike Matrix
Some of that Suave.
Yeah, I guess it's Suave. That's good. Yeah. Suave. Mike Matrix. Truly, have you ever been to Egypt? I don't know what that means as a question.
Don't ask.
Don't ask. Did you have some bad times in Egypt, man?
No, I've never been to Egypt, but like I know Mike is the governor, so.
Oh, okay. He's a governor of Egypt?
Yeah, you can ask him.
Okay, Mike Matrix, are you governor of Egypt? Well, this is kind of a chat question there. Okay, Soggy. I keep saying Soggy. Is it Saji?
Sagi.
Sagi?
Segi.
Soggy.
Sugi. All
Call
right.
him Soggy. We're good.
Soggy. Okay, Soggy. I'll just call you Soggy. How about that? I'm sure you like that. Viv, why'd you take my profile picture?
Because I stole it.
You took it? You're just like, because I can?
It's Viv.
Because I can. Do you want to fight about it? What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah. I mean, seriously, what are you gonna do at this moment? Nothing, probably, right? And truly, why are you a train? Why is your profile picture a train?
I don't know.
Because you couldn't find a better one.
Yeah, that's what I came up with. It
Oh,
was
you're
either
gonna say
that
you're
or
Doom
some
Train.
squatting Slav, so I took the train.
Do you identify with trains?
I will, I guess, from now on. So
Every time you're ready, you're just gonna go choo choo.
I think he picked a train because I was giving you really racist Russian pictures beforehand.
Oh, okay.
And he just didn't want that up there.
Fair enough. All right. I think we went through a lot of questions for the show. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about in Zalera and raiding and everything else that you just have on your chest and you just want to get out? Just like anything.
Do you guys? I don't know. Shout outs to Lin Okuma, I guess.
Who's that?
Just a friend.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, we can do shout outs then. Let's do shout outs then. Shout outs to your friend here, Truly. Okay. Do you have anyone else you want to shout out?
You know, I have so many people, but like, you know, just in general. Just giving a shout out to everyone.
General shout out to everybody. Fair enough. Hope
Yeah.
everybody feels shouted out. At the
I
moment.
don't want to hurt anybody's feeling like, you didn't mention me, whatever.
Shout out
so.
to Himeragi.
Himeragi.
Himeragi,
Okay. All right. All right.
king of spam. Just walks around and types A in his chat box all day.
Really?
That's what he does. Goes around and goes, ah!
Oh God. All right, Viv. Do you have anyone?
No, I don't shout.
Okay. That was a pretty good one, man. I wasn't expecting that. I don't think anyone's ever said that on the show. No, I don't shout,
He
dude.
doesn't. It's true. It's true. He
Yeah, that's
doesn't.
Viv. That's Viv for you.
Okay.
The only times he yells is when somebody's standing in front of the boss. He's like, "You're the brother of the boss."
Then he does shout. I mean, that's a very.
I've only heard him shout once, and that was at our caster because the caster is standing in front of Brute Justice, and it was like, "I don't want to fucking cleave you again, don't wipe us." That's the only time I heard him like angry. It's when people stand in front of the boss.
That's the best time to get angry. It's when you're raiding and people screw up. You're just like, why is this happening, guys? What's wrong with you? I can't believe this. Like, we had this on farm, and we're just dying to this every single time. What's going on? Do you do that, Viv?
No, nobody.
No.
That never ever happens. Oh, maybe I do sometimes, but
Okay.
sometimes I'm like, oh my god, just stop. I just want to go to bed.
Just want to sleep. Just sleep, dude. I'm done. All right. Okay. Well, I'll do my shout outs here. I want to shout out everyone in the chat that's participated and has come to watch this show on Zalera Hardcore Rating with Powerful Wizards IRL. You guys, I know it was kind of a cluster getting everything together. I've been like working all week, and so my communication kind of sucked. And so you guys have come onto this with like really bad communication from me too. So I apologize for that. But I appreciate you coming on anyways. You guys are definitely inspiring. To say the least. And Saucy's a little bit too sauced up, but we have him on here and talk about some things. We'll have him discussing some stuff too. But definitely shout outs to you guys. You've been great here on the show. I know this is the first time you guys have been on the show, so it's maybe a weird experience, but I definitely appreciate you coming on anyways.
I have a couple more shout outs.
Do it. Do your shout outs.
Shout outs
Thank you
to
for having
Limit
us
Cut.
anyway.
Shout outs to Limit Cut.
Limit Cuts? Okay.
Shout outs to Creator for providing many delicious memes.
Oh, Creator. What do you guys think about good old Creator?
God fucking cocks, man. Holy
That was a delight during progression.
No.
12.
He's I haven't talked to him in a while. This guy's a pretty funny guy. I wish I need to get him back on the show and have a conversation with him. It's been a while. Jesus Christ, people are getting timed out like immediately.
They're saying God fucking cocks, man, in chat and it's banning them.
Oh, nice. You know what? I think it. God, what Cox, man? Is it fucking really like banning people?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Jesus.
think so.
I didn't know that. Moobot's being very sensitive today. Let's see if I can permit these guys. Just make sure that they're not getting completely messed up. Maybe that'll fix it. Who turned on that sensitivity? I mean, there's other things that I could prevent, but I mean, I should make it to where if they say cucks, it bans them immediately. But you know, I won't do that. All right.
Somebody else would have gotten banned because they said limit cuck.
Let me cook, yeah. All right. Anyways, guys, thank you again for watching the show. You guys are absolutely amazing for watching the show. And also, next week we will be back And we are going to be having a show. Hopefully, there's a couple of different shows that might be happening. We could be having a show on A Stage Reborn. Those guys who did that performance over New Year's. I don't know if you guys heard about that at all. There's a lot of work for them to get together and do that. Then we might have a show on lore coming up, and we need to have our Astrologian show soon too. So we have a lot of things coming up. Lots of stuff going on for MogTalk, guys, and I'm going to be here, and we're going to do it, and we're going to go F up some people. Oh, Jesus Christ. That damn meme is not going anywhere. It's all over chat right now. Okay. You guys did your shout-outs. I did my shout-outs. Thank you, Kerr, for moderating chat. Thank you, chat, for being here. Thank you for collecting all of your questions, Kerr. Thank you, Blazana, for doing the artwork for the show. Thank you, Andre Kane, for letting me use your intro cover at the beginning of the show. And we do something every time. We're going to host somebody here in a second, but we do something every single time we're ending up the show, which is, do you guys know what that is?
Nope.
I really have no idea.
We do awkward waving. Awkward waving.
Hell yeah, do that, dude.
Yeah. Guys, thank you for watching this show. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next week. And remember to be good, keep cool, and stay frosty. Yeah.